Challenge A. I wanted to do a video on how you can practice drawing the world at home. I'll send a link to what I bought on Amazon, but this is butcher paper unwaxed, so it's really great for drawing. This is $10 for a roll. I bought it to share with the class, and so if I see any of you this week, I'll be happy to cut off some sections for you and give it to you. But in the meantime, if you want your own roll, go ahead and order it. So I'm just going to roll off about, I don't know how many inches that is, about 18 inches maybe. And I'm copying this diagram right here that is in the, I'll show you which book it is, so if you have it at home, the Scribblers at Home, this is a really great reference. It has challenge stuff in it. It's not just for scribblers, but it's on page 233, and so it's going to show how you can lay out your map for drawing the world. So let's go ahead and start. Just going to take your paper, fold it in half. Okay, so fold it in half this way, increase it. This will be your prime meridian. Fold it in half this way, and it works well to line up your first crease, just like origami, I guess. This will be your equator. And then I'm going to measure all of the other longitudinal lines at about 1.5 inches, which is about 1.5 knuckles. So I just kind of measure 1.5 knuckles, and I think I want it about there. So I'll line up my crease. I know it works because my edges aren't very even. I'm going to measure about 1.5 knuckles. I think I want it there. Line up my crease. And then I'm going to do the same at the bottom. Your Arctic and Antarctic circle. Just leave it. And the same at the top. Okay, so once you have this, if you have something long to trace, you can, or just trace along your folds. I'm going to draw my lines. That's my prime meridian. This is the equator. Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, and your Arctic and Antarctic circle. And let's go ahead and label it. I'll label it over here because maybe nothing will end up being in this section of your paper. So, equator. Now the way I remembered the difference between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn is that the Tropic of Cancer is a shorter word, so it can float up high, and the Tropic of Capricorn is a longer word, so it gets pulled to the bottom. It's longer and it's heavier, so it gets pulled down. Same with Arctic and Antarctic circle. Arctic is a shorter word, so it can float up at the top. Antarctic is a longer word, so it falls to the bottom because it's heavier. It's just my way to remember. And then prime meridian, maybe we can label it right here because there's not going to be, well, not much will get in the way. Okay, so the next step is to take a look at this diagram and just reserve a space on your world map so that you don't run out of room. So if you notice, North America just goes right above the equator but does not cross the equator, but it does cross the Arctic Circle. And it does cross the Tropic of Cancer. So I'm going to very lightly on my paper designate my space for North America. And that includes Greenland and Iceland. And I'm going to do very lightly so that I can erase it later. Now let's designate North America, or South America. It does cross the equator, and it goes about midway down, not all the way to the Antarctic Circle. Okay, and then we're going to designate Antarctica. So it just crosses the Antarctic Circle. Whoops, I spelled this wrong. Antarctic Circle. Okay. Africa is almost like a head and a body. So Africa crosses all sorts of lines. It crosses the prime meridian, kind of the head shape of Africa, and it sits right on top of the equator, and it goes right over the Tropic of Cancer. So we're going to designate this little area right here for kind of like that head shape of Africa. And then the body of Africa goes kind of Tropic of Cancer, and it goes right below the Tropic of Capricorn. So it's kind of the area we'll designate for Africa. Europe also crosses the prime meridian and the Arctic Circle, so you're going to designate this area right here. And then Asia, again, goes above the Arctic Circle, and it comes just below the Tropic of Cancer. And then Australia is around the Tropic of Capricorn right here. So now that you have your lines very lightly drawn, you have earmarked or designated spaces on the map so that you don't start, say, North America, and it's so big and out of proportion, and then you don't have any room for anything else. So once you do that, then you can access your guide. I've marked all my tabs here. So North America is all up here with these tabs, and you can start practicing your North America. And then I've got Europe tabs here, Asia, all these tabs here, Africa tabbed down here, and then Oceania tabbed down here, so that they can practice, and they have 3 weeks to practice around the world and to be prepared for our blue book. And I'll give you more information later to let you know how I'm going to do the blue book, if I'm going to spread it out over 2 weeks or if we're going to do it on one day. I'm not sure yet. And if you can show this one. This is Grace's attempt. She's just done the outlines first, just the outlines of the continents. And then I think what I'm going to have her do is that maybe every day this week, start drawing, say, she's got the outline, so then on one day she'll start drawing Australia.